Answer specific questions part of it or no?
We'll go into depth about Olympic lifting.
You don't care?
Just
Okay, we're gonna start 5 minutes. We're gonna argue about this one.
okay, everyone. Silence.
It's ridiculous.
You started? Oh.
What's up, Team Bazooka? We're already at episode number 3 of the Bazooka Strength powered by Tempus Performance, building hurting bombs with my man Costa Kladianos. What's up, Costa?
You know, just another week.
We asked people if they liked you in the series and what you're saying to comment below. How did you feel about the reaction everyone was giving you?
It's fine. It's positive reaction. I noticed people want me to talk more, which is amazing.
Which is shocking to me.
I told you.
Whoever wrote that comment, you blew up his head now, and now all of a sudden he feels he needs to talk more, and the whole show's about Costa Kladianos.
People want to get more in depth about each thing because you keep getting me off track with different
I understand
questions.
that, but I'm trying to make it organized for everyone, and whoever commented that, you know, Costa likes to go off on rants and tangents.
Oh yeah, there was one guy.
You got one.
He's like,
you wanted to call him out.
Not your best video, Joe. Like, it didn't make any sense. Couldn't follow it. I'm like, I kind of agree. Like, I don't know what I'm saying half the time.
I
know what I'm saying, but I just babble a little bit.
All right.
It's fine.
Well, last week we did lower body strength.
Okay.
And lower body strength, we said 3 days. There was, I said the average combat athlete probably has 3 days
Did you get a
to do
haircut
strength.
this week?
I did.
It's nice.
But 3 days.
It's a nice face. Shout out Fabrizio. It's our hairdresser. What?
I didn't get my hair cut by Fabrizio this week.
Did.
Well, I told you I didn't get
Thanks,
my
Joe. I
hair
did
cut
get
from
my
him.
haircut.
Well, if you're watching Fabrizio, sorry, the guy who cut it did it for free, and I had to go.
I got it for Fabrizio. I got you.
Free sounded good, so Costa's trying to call me out now, but that's a little rude.
No, man.
Buddy, you know how it is. I just talked on Danny's camera right now. Your hairdresser is like your girlfriend. So when you go to get a haircut, it's so hard. You can't just cheat on your hairdresser.
No,
and I did. So it's like, hey, everyone, look at me. I just cheated with my hairdresser, which is a big deal to me. And you just called me out. I thought we were friends.
Why'd you have to bring it up then?
You brought it up.
No, I shouted him out.
You got a new haircut. Shout out to Fabrizio, meaning Fabrizio cut my hair.
I just shouted out Fabrizio. You could have just left it at that. We could just
I
talk
said
about
I was
what's
like,
going on.
I gave you the look to be like, hey.
Anyways.
Okay, well, 3 days.
Okay.
We did lower body strength. Costa wants to go off again on these tangents, and I said, listen, we're going to stick back to the basics. It's going to give us about 5-10 minutes of day 2, which day 1 we did lower body. And day 2, do you want to do push or pull?
I kind of want to do something else.
Okay, 5 minutes.
All right, fine.
Give 5 minutes on some theory.
We'll talk about push.
Push. Okay.
All right, so
because I think, to be honest, I think pull needs a full episode.
Pull serious business.
Pull needs a full episode.
Push is a bit underrated, Joe. So so on a push day, what you want, again, this is everybody's individual, but you want to start out with something that's going to get that strength. It's going to give you some force. So I like bench press. It's very controversial.
Why is it controversial?
Because a lot of people have trouble with bench press in terms of with a barbell bench press, especially because say it hurts their shoulders, hurts their elbows. If done properly, it's very safe.
And what would be a common mistake?
A common mistake is people come in way too high with
So when they bring the bar down, it's more to their neck.
Here. You want to go lower. You want to go to the kind of the lower chest when you're bringing out the bar, and especially for sports, you don't want to go too far down. Like a bodybuilding style, yeah, you go down.
So you don't want
to
touch.
You don't want that stretch, yeah. Bodybuilding style, absolutely, because you get that more of that stretch. But sports style, you want to go to a 90-degree here. It saves your shoulders and really concentrate on the explosive upwards.
So why wouldn't you do a floor press instead of a regular bench press?
Yeah,
then?
floor press is fine. You can start out with a floor press. It's just harder kind of to.
But do you want to control that weight? Because a floor press, you can kind of just rest there. Does that make a difference, or do you want that?
There is times where you want to rest and just push it up.
That's more for explosiveness.
Yeah, but that's more, again, you got to be really experienced. For beginners, just take the bar, come down half, and then explode up. Okay, always be explosive in every.
So you would say about what, 2 inches off the chest?
Yeah, I mean it depends. Everybody's different. Like you want to get to a 90 degrees. Again, some really good.
Would board press be an example of a way to do this?
Board press.
Yeah.
What, you talking about powerlifting style?
Well, I don't know. I thought that was a way to kind of find like more of a.
You're taking off a lot of tension when you do the board press. Again, that's if you're training for powerlifting. That's great.
Okay.
Some really good examples of a proper bench press. Look up Dave Tate teaching bench press from Elite FTS. He's awesome. Again, I said I don't really want to do demonstrations because there's awesome stuff like this out on YouTube where you can learn from guys who are incredible. Tate's one of the best. if not the best, and to teach you how to bench press. So after that, if you have shoulder problems though, do a dumbbell bench press.
Okay. My other question before we move on to the next one: how much arch do you think in the back? 'Cause I know a lot of people set up and they have that huge arch versus flat on the bench.
Setup's huge.
Or feet. Yeah. A lot of guys put their feet on the bench. Which do you recommend for combat sports? Yeah. I know the feet up would be more of a bodybuilder style because it takes away the glute, the little bit of the lower back, and that extra little drive.
I like a little bit of arch in your back because, again, that'll help you with that drive.
Should your glutes be on the bench?
100%. People cheat by when you take your glutes off the bench, like I see a lot of these college football players doing, what that does is it turns into a decline bench press. And it's also really hard on your lower back. So there's ways to set up. Again, Tates will show you a powerlifting style where you have that little bit of an arch in your lower back, helps you really create that force.
But glutes stay on the bench.
Yeah, so you want to create force. The whole thing is creating force, upper body force. Because when you're punching, you're going like this, okay? Well, that's, it's an ugly punch, but whatever. So when you're doing that, so that's what you want to help. So after you do that, get into like a single arm type of exercise. So a single arm dumbbell press. You can even do a corner with the barbell push, a standing.
We did a lot. We do a lot of those.
Pushes. There's a million things you can do. Again, you probably want to go higher reps with that. Your strength should be your first one.
So would you go on an incline? I know a lot of people complain in combat sports that they get a lot of tendinitis, a lot of shoulder pain, and we're so used to fighting, punching almost horizontal. Where, I mean, a lot of fighters complain about shoulder issues when they go incline. Would you be an incline or more of a flat style?
Shoulder issues are it's a lot deeper than doing an incline. One of the things you need is a lot of prehab work, which will come at the end. So that's a lot of band work. You can even do that in your warm-ups. I mean, you can look those up, simple shoulder saving routines. So you get the bands, you just do pull-aparts. A lot of power lifters do that because their shoulders go through a hell of a lot pushing all that weight. So you want a good prehab routine in your shoulders, save your shoulder. Incline press, I'm not huge on it. Again, for bodybuilding it's good, and if it works for you, go nuts. But with my guys, I stay kind of flat and I stay with anything standing because that's just kind of, I just find it works better. When the incline to me hurts my shoulders a lot. Again,
could it because there's some sort of weakness in the shoulder, or is it something that you can push through? Because I know, again, with me, I get a lot of scar tissue built up, I guess, from the boxing and stuff like that. So once I can work that down, I find I get better incline strength with it as well.
I don't know what's an incline strength though.
Well, like my incline press gets more strength.
Yeah, but we're trying to work to be better combat sports athletes instead of being better incline bench pressers. If you're trying to be an incline bench presser, cool.
But wouldn't that relate to power?
Anything can relate. The bench press will relate more to power because you're on your back. I don't know. That didn't make any sense, but you're talking me in a circle here. I don't like the incline bench press.
Okay, fair.
It's fine. It's hard on my shoulders. I mean, if some people like it, some people works for them.
That's all I'm getting to. I'm just asking questions that could be.
I like working flat, and I like working standing up.
Okay, so we started off with a bench press.
Yeah.
Then we did a single arm dumbbell.
Single arm movement. Yeah.
And then what would you go number 3 on your push day?
Number 3, I like push-ups, Joel.
I know you do.
Yeah.
You're asking like you're saying like I don't know. I've been working with you for 10 years.
Push-ups are so like underrated, and they're like, oh, they're easy. They're not easy after you're going hard on the bench press, and then you go hard on a single arm movement. You do 4 sets of push-ups, but proper push-ups. Like you're getting yourself straight back, all the way down to the ground, all the way up. Nice controlled movement. And they're great for your shoulders. You're talking about something that helps your shoulders. Push-ups are amazing for them. Even if you have really bad shoulders, a thing called scap push-ups where you're just kind of moving your scaps back together and coming up. Those are great. I use them a lot with pitchers that I train. Yeah. And I mean, baseball's a different sport. I don't have pitchers bench press. I have them do a lot of single arm stuff, but we're not talking baseball. But for combat, definitely, if push-ups are still a little easy on that, you can always get a weighted push-up in. And then, I mean, those are great. It's something that that's kind of fallen out of favor, but it's just such an amazing exercise that you can use your body weight or add a weighted vest on. And I think those are the kind of the big three that you're using, and then you can put in some other stuff after if you have weak points or whatnot. But I think those are the things you want to focus on.
So you wouldn't want to do too much.
Yeah. So like you got a strength, you got a single arm, and you have a body weight.
So now the difference between a strength training. So I mean, I know a lot of guys, kickboxers or MMA fighters. They go to the random gym,
Right.
and they'll go in there and they're putting in like 30, 40 sets. Is that too much?
Yeah, that's crazy. A
lot of guys will come in and they do flies. They'll do different cable works. They'll do.
Yeah.
Would you do a fly or a cable?
If you're bodybuilding.
It has nothing to do with. You wouldn't add that.
Wouldn't really. It doesn't really carry over too much to combat sports or any sports. Again, the whole thing. You want to generate force, and the way to generate force is to be explosive. Free weights, you can really be explosive because you're taking your whole system. It's working movements, not muscles. So you want to just work on that explosiveness, working on things where you're standing up, where you can use your whole body, lying back on your back as well with the bench press a little bit different.
So sets and reps on them. Bench press, you're looking at what, 5 to 5?
Oh yeah, I mean that can change, but on the strength movement, let's call it strength because it's a modified that you can do different versions of bench. You want to keep something where you're comfortable to about 5 explosive reps. When you're moving single arms, you want to do a little bit more on each side, so maybe 8 to 10. Again, if you kind of go too low on the single arms, too heavy, you're going to have issues with your shoulders. So again, you want to really rep that out, but be explosive. And then push-ups, do as many as you can. It's push-ups, it's sick.
Now, I've had this debate with so many people. You always put a chest, tricep, chest, and something else. Would you add? I do a little bit more bodybuilding now in my routine, just because.
No, you're looking jacked.
I'm trying to get bigger. It's part of some of my hobbies include bodybuilding as well. So I've been working on different developments. So a lot of my tricep work, and we never did a lot of isolated tricep work when I was actively competing because. It's look, right? It's over performance.
Work movements, not muscles.
So would you isolate your triceps in order to anything in a strength? Or are you getting enough tricep work with your bench presses, your single arm, your push-ups?
It goes back to compound movement. For sports in particular, the tricep works with everything, okay? When you're fighting, when you're playing any sport, you don't just use your tricep. You use it in conjunction with other muscles in your upper body, your hips, your legs. So with something like a compound movement, like a bench, you're working your triceps, shoulders, chest, and you're putting them all together. You're working, again, the movement, not the isolated muscle. Working isolated muscle, amazing to look good for bodybuilding. Maybe there's rehab work that your physio has you on, but in terms of just as a strength program, it doesn't make sense.
Okay, I got 2 good questions. What's your thoughts on now when you watch people try to simulate like a punch with a dumbbell? Like they'll get a heavy dumbbell and they'll try to punch thinking, I have to do a punch with weight in order to get my punch better.
So stupid. I love how you brought that question up. I forgot about it.
I knew it was
I'm passionate about this one.
I know you do.
I hate it. Like I remember people saying, oh, do a kick with
that was part of the question, yes. Like the main question is you see all these people, they have weighted ankles, or they'll be having punch big dumbbells.
No, because listen,
or they have resistance punching.
Yeah, so when you're an athlete and when you're performing, when you're doing your reps in terms of you're doing your punches, your kicks, you're throwing in other sports, you're shooting whatever for basketball or whatever, that's a very specific neuromuscular movement. And if you're doing it with a weight, now your body is changing the way that movement's done, and it's changing the muscle memory. So you take that weight off, your neuromuscular system is going to say, oh wait, it still thinks there's a weight here. I practice it a different way. It's going to mess up your technique, and it all goes back to technique. The most important thing is technique. The strength is just to add on it. So that's why when I'm doing movements, when I'm training strength movements, they're totally different. So a bench press is totally different than throwing punches. And squatting is totally different than kicks because they're still working your explosiveness, they're working your strength, but they're not working that exact movement. They're not messing with those movement patterns. When you mess with those movement patterns, that's a bad news.
Well, for example, I think some people are going to turn around and say things like, "Whoa, what about those little bands?" And I'm guilty of it. Like we talked about weighted. I have my guys. It's only 1 or 2 pounds. They do like shadow boxing with a 1 or 2 pound weight just to get that little bit of resistance. What's your take on that?
Yeah, I mean, if you're just doing it at the end of a workout with like beginners.
But they have like those light bands where it's not too much resistance.
But if you notice, if you're just, when I seen you doing with the little weights, they're just going like this, right?
It's more like a volume.
They're not doing a real punch. They're not like sparring with them.
Well, I just want you to explain to people, because I know there's a lot of people who are like, well, what about the 1 or little 2 pound dumbbells? People always pick on little things.
Yeah, if you're trying to work your shoulders going like this, that's not simulating a real punch.
It's just more muscular endurance.
But if you're going to hit the bag
shoulder.
with ankle weights, no, that's messing up your kick. It's if you're doing your sport and you're practicing your sport, practice your sport. If you're in the gym, you're working your strength, work your strength. Stop trying to bring the two together.
Well, those who are watching obviously are combat sports athletes, and I use this type of philosophy in my kickboxing as well. So if I got to work, you can't work everything in once in fighting. I can't work muscular endurance, power, strength, and volume combinations all in one day. I have to separate some. So that's why if you look at my technical series and all those things, I'll isolate maybe one punch. Maybe we got to work power on one punch and then put it into a whole system. So I mean, it's the same kind of concept. But now let's get into some questions.
I like the technical series though, it's nice.
It is. I'm trying.
Are you going to teach a kick?
Yes, we're teaching a kick.
Kickboxing. I've been waiting for like 10 weeks.
This is this. Costa's been saying, we got to throw the kick, we got to throw the kick, we got to throw the kick. It's kickboxing. But you know what? Me as a true martial artist, I'm not going to cheat the technical series. I'm going to teach you guys how I want to teach it and how I would teach it. If you guys want to see kicking, I'm sorry you had to wait till episode 12, but it's true to my style.
So it's episode 12.
True to my philosophy.
Calling it around episode 12?
Well, it's true to my philosophy. It's true to the way I teach, and I'm giving you guys authentic, bazooka kickball training. So if you guys don't like it, there's other channels, go watch it. But
I like it.
This is the way I'm doing it, and I'm mad that you keep bringing it up.
Why are you freaking on me?
Because I'm passionate about the way I teach.
First about the haircut and now about this.
Yeah, because you ask inappropriate questions, Costa.
That's what I do.
Well, those are the ones that get to me sensitive. Don't talk about my hair and don't talk about my technical kickboxing. Those are my two touchy subjects.
Okay.
You wanted to talk about something. We got a few questions on people asking Olympic lifting, like how good is Olympic lifting for your training routine?
Okay, I love Olympic lifting. Me and you are both like certified Olympic lifting coaches.
We did a course together, yeah.
It was a nice course.
Yeah.
And then we trained a lot of Olympic lifting back in the day. Here's the issue I have with Olympic lifting for training athletes. Olympic lifting is super technical. Mm-hmm. If you think teaching a squat is technical, which it absolutely is, trying to teach someone a proper clean, years, and it's so technical, and you have limited amount of time with these people in the gym because they gotta go out. They have other things to do, especially their sport.
The MMA guys.
Yeah,
jiu-jitsu, work half of the time.
So I gotta go in there and get my most bang for my buck with these athletes. And the reason why Olympic lifting is so good is because it teaches something called triple extension. Mm-hmm. Triple extension means your ankles, knees, and hips extend into a jump and a sprint. So if you sprint, you jump. That's what that does is triple extension. So when you train that with a clean, that helps increase your force, which carries over to sport. It's great, it's amazing, but it's very hard to do a clean. And with that time, I got to do something that has a bang for the buck, like I was saying. So something like a trap bar deadlift, very light, and have them jump. I can get that triple extension without having to teach a clean. I see people like, oh, I do cleans, I do this, I do that. Most cleans I see are just like reverse curls.
Yeah, they don't even get into a squat.
Some coaches even teach bounce it off your thighs and go out here. No, the point of a clean is the bar comes straight up, you jump, and you catch it underneath. So the bar should come straight up and you come under. That's why barbells, true Olympic lifting barbells roll the edges so the weights can roll.
Spins under and
you
can catch.
Otherwise it comes out here and that does nothing for you.
Or they don't even catch. They catch up top, right?
Exactly. And so it's a very difficult, it takes years to perfect. I got to do something that has time. So even like sprints are great, triple extension, trap bar jumping deadlifts, even loaded jumps. So you put on a weighted vest and you jump, that's also good. So again, you have that certain amount of time and you got to use it. So Olympic lifting is great, but the amount of time it takes to teach it is, and especially when you got athletes, like I'll repeat it again, who are doing a million things, you got to utilize that time in the gym best.
Okay, two comments on it. One is, what could you work it the way we did? Is this kind of similar? Is we would do a strength exercise, so we're going to use the squat, where we would do a box squat, which was, you know, a movement that takes away the eccentric, which means you're not getting as sore. So we'd use box squats closer to camp, but then we'd superset it with explosive jumping or skater jumps. Is that another way you can work Olympic lifting in a safer way?
100%. Well, it's not Olympic lifting, but it's
well, I mean, that triple extension, the same effect.
Triple extension, yeah. So you superset something. Again, you superset. I did that. We did that a lot. You would do your strength exercise and then go out and do a bunch of jumps.
There's a video. It's an older video. DB Vault, who's recording this right now, I'll get them on YouTube to send it. We have an older one. I think when I was training for Mark DuBont, you posted a video of me doing a box squat supersetted with an explosive trap bar jump.
Yeah, and we do that.
So let's add this to the video if you guys can do that for us, and at least just show an example.
But again,
of it.
Those are explosive. Like, you don't want to do that too heavy.
And you got to remember, it's explosive, and I've been doing this a long time. So a weighted trap bar jump is a very dangerous jump. I'm sure people can use that. So just an example of how you superset to get that effective triple extension. And one thing, again, I coached a lot of athletes as well with Costa in the strength and conditioning. One thing that stuck with me, which he always said, is risk versus reward. So, for example, if you're doing cleans, and you can ask any combat sports athlete, our hands, our wrists, our elbows, we take a beating. You know, if you look at my hands, I got freaking calcified knuckles. My hands, my wrists are always sore from boxing all day. And now all of a sudden, I'm doing all these heavy Olympic lifts, putting that extra pressure hurts. And Costa says, you're not an Olympic lifter, you're a kickboxer. Risk versus reward.
Well, your Olympic lifting was getting pretty good.
It was good,
but
into that. Again, risk versus reward. Can you explain that for the people?
You just did. It was excellent explanation, Joe.
No, but you were good at it.
You want to do something.
That was your words. I'm taking it out of your mouth and asking.
Yeah, I know. You said it great.
Okay.
Yeah, it was nice.
I just was waiting for a response.
Oh, that's good.
Okay.
You said it well, Joe. Why add on to it? Maybe get upset at me again. I don't know.
Well, don't talk about my hair. Don't talk about my kickboxing. Yeah. What other questions did you see online that we could address?
I don't know. I think that was the big deal.
Okay, I have a question. I have a question. I got a question,
right,
random. It's not that great.
Oh.
It's just a cool
Got me
question.
Fired up a bit.
Sit-ups.
Yeah.
Sit-ups. I want to know your thoughts on a traditional sit-up. You know, that's the crunch, or those who use the Thai crunches to sit up. What's your take on sit-ups?
They are not great for your lower back.
Okay. But can they be done properly and be okay for your lower back? Because everyone's like, well, if you do it this way, it's better for your lower back compared to that.
And see, my question is that I have to them is there's so much other things you can do that are better for your core and lower back.
So you don't necessarily need to do all those million Thai crunches every day.
No, because
the reason and alternatives.
Okay, so the reason why that's not good is you're flexing your lower back, okay, and your vertebrae is basically the bones with a little squishy tissue in between them, called your discs.
Okay.
And a lot of people when they get a lower back injury, they feel shots like electrical shots down through their legs. Which what it is their squishy disc has degenerated, and now it's bone touching the nerve, and the nerve just hits down there. So you want to make, and so a repetitive movement like a sit up where it's just going like this, bending. Your back only has so many cycles, and this was proven by amazing back researcher, spinal researcher, Dr. Stuart McGill. So what's better now is things like bridges are amazing. Core work is good. You're working your abs, doing things like squats. Again, I'll go back to squats because it's such an amazing movement because it truly works your whole body. To put the bar on your back and have your body stabilize that's your whole core is working to stabilize that. That's a core movement, okay? Things
like deadlifting is huge.
Yeah, deadlifts. You gotta brace your whole core to do that. Mm-hmm. Even for people who can't put on the weights, in terms of body weight movement, a push-up is a core movement. A push-up, you have to brace your whole core to stay to be level and get down. It's amazing core movement. And they've done studies where they've shown that how much it activates the core, and it's incredible. There's a million things out there that you can do that aren't just you bending your back and doing 1,000 Thai crunches or hitting my stomach for some reason.
I know the two you're going to give, but you can give them.
Now I don't know. What am I going to give?
What are the two that we've always done? I'm putting you on the spot now. There's two core exercises that you've made me do.
Oh, you know what's good? Pallof.
Yes, that's one, the Pallof.
Look at that. It's with a band, so you're coming out at...
And you always called it anti-rotation, which is like, because in fighting, we're always rotating. So Costa had me do anti-rotation.
So anti-rotation, what that is good is you're fighting, by fighting against something that's trying to rotate you, you're bracing your core. So you set up that band against the squat rack,
we even have
and you
one
pull
here.
it out.
Keep talking.
And you pull it out and you try and push it out, and it looks like a chest exercise, but really you're bracing your core. And again, you're getting your abs and your
well, this is a light band. I don't even know if I'm on
You're
camera
not even
here.
going to be on camera.
Well, can you see me? Camera guys?
Just get them to look up Pallof Press.
Well, I mean, I'm just showing.
Yeah.
Well, this is like a simple Pallof, just showing how I'm bracing. The band wants to pull me back, but I'm restricting.
Can't see you at all, Joe.
Okay, cool.
All right.
Done.
Anyways.
They'll look it up, Pallof.
Yeah, look up Pallof. Anyways, so that's great. So again, and you want to do it from both sides because you want to be symmetrical. So
Left and right.
Yeah, left and right, because that prevents injuries too. Because you have both sides got to be as strong with each other. It's more for baseball players. I use a lot of both sides because they hit from one side unless you're a switch hitter. So the other side's usually pretty weak, and that causes a lot of oblique injuries. And oblique injuries really suck for any kind of combat sports, especially. I mean, if we're talking kickboxing, kickers mostly kick from one side.
That's right.
So that's one side rotation. The other side tends to get a little
And you can feel the
weak.
difference when you do them for the first time. You'll notice that, you'll feel that weak side really develop.
So work both sides.
Okay, that's one. What about another one or two? Quickly.
I don't know. What else did we do now?
Planks. We did a lot of planks.
I kept calling them bridges. I meant
bridges,
planks.
planks.
Yeah, planks.
I thought I meant bridges because glute bridges are amazing.
Glute bridges are good.
Glute
But I was
bridges are
thinking
very important.
planks.
I'm sure that'll come out on
But
another day.
you know what, though? Here's my whole thing.
But you don't like
we got
planks?
3 minutes. No, but why do a plank when you can do a push-up? Push-ups, because you're staying in that position, but you're getting extra benefit by doing a push-up. Planks are great for beginners who can't do a push-up, but if you can do push-ups, just go with it.
What's your take on those rainbows?
Yeah, those are pretty cool.
We started adding those a little bit.
Yeah, so I see there's so much out there. We could go on forever. We only got
we got 2 minutes left. Well, let's just keep it up with abs. Tell people, what's the best way to get abs, Costa?
Diet.
Thank you.
In the kitchen.
But you're telling me that if I do 100 sit-ups every morning, every night, I'm going to get a wicked set of abs.
There's no such thing as spot reduction. You got to get that body fat down. And usually the last thing to go is the stomach.
Well, I mean, people understand it's how much water you're drinking, how water bloated are you, what are you eating. There's so many different factors.
Genetics too. Some people that can even get down to really low body fat and not have abs.
But can you lower your body fat and through these ab exercises build the size of the ab, which makes it show more? Because that's the debate around it. Well, you're building the muscle of the ab to make them bigger so they show more.
Not really. In my experience,
it's more of an endurance muscle.
They're like calves. It's really a genetic type of thing.
Point.
If you really get to a low body fat, some people will show abs at a higher body fat. It's all your genetics. Again, calves, you can work them till you lose your mind, and it's mostly determined by your genetics, but still work them because it's affecting your strength. Again, we're not talking bodybuilding here.
You're
we're
looking at that
strength.
transfer of force. You don't want to have that weak
You have to have a
system.
solid core to transfer that force from your legs to your hips to your upper body. And that prevents injury. Not only creates force, but it prevents injury. Right? The stronger core you have, the less chance you're gonna have of pulling an oblique. And a pulled oblique muscle sucks. Like you're out for 6-7 weeks. You can't do anything.
All right, that was episode 3. Bazooka Strength, powered by Tempus Performance with Costa Kladianos and myself. Hope you enjoyed this. Keep asking those questions. Costa's done a great job at going in and replying to you guys.
We stayed on topic this
week. We did well. We did well.
Okay.
So whoever wrote that negative comment, hopefully he replies and appreciates.
Yeah, it was all for you.
It was all for you. This is the reason we did it. I kept him on track for you. So whoever wrote that comment, you upset him, and now we...
No, it's just, it's nice. I get better. We get better.
So hope you guys enjoyed it. Again, keep asking questions. Maybe I don't know how it works. I'm still new to this YouTube thing. It's having fun, but can you add hashtags? I don't know, at Bazooka Strength or something, or question. Make it.
I think the tape's run out.
All right.
Tape mold.
Done.
All right. Peace.
All right. Peace.